Who has a majority in the Senate?
We do.
Who has a majority in the House?
We do. But what does that have to do with DOGE?
Who is in the White House? What party is in the White House?
The Republicans.
So it's almost like you can do anything you want. They managed.
That yeah is the sound of a defense collapsing. Isaiah didn't tell her that she was wrong. No, he asked her questions. She answered them correctly, and the correct answers ate her alive. But this implosion didn't come out of nowhere. It worked because of everything he did before it, refusing every distraction, anchoring every exchange in specifics, and closing off every exit until the only one left led directly into his trap.
Did you get your $2,000 DOGE check?
Why hello my fellow apes, I hope you are well. Isaiah Martin is a former congressional candidate who appeared on Jubilee to debate 20 MAGA Republicans on a series of propositions. And the one we're examining today is...
My next surrounding claim is that DOGE was a complete and total failure.
And what he does in this specific exchange is one of the cleanest demonstrations of debate control I've ever seen. His opponent is April, and she has, let's say, a difficult job. DOGE was supposed to slash federal waste and deliver the savings back to the American people. It didn't.
Would you do DOGE again, knowing what you know now?
I mean, the thing is, like, I think instead of doing DOGE, I would have worked on my companies, essentially. So
April can't defend the results. Instead, her argument boils down to this. DOGE didn't fail because it was incompetent. It failed because nobody let it succeed.
You guys were doxing him and calling this guy big balls and going crazy about every single thing with DOGE. DOGE was literally vilified.
And she's going to have to do everything she can to make Isaiah argue about that instead of the numbers. But here's the thing. He won't.
Last time I checked, I'm not really here to debate the record on Gavin Newsom and what happens in California.
You see, most people lose arguments, not because they're wrong, but because they get pulled off course. Someone throws a distraction and you feel compelled to address it. Someone makes an accusation and you feel the need to defend yourself before making your point. Before you know it, you're on their battlefield, arguing about things that have nothing to do with what you came to say. And as for the person who dragged you there, they're winning, because every second you spend on their topic is a second you're not spending on yours. Isaiah does the opposite, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to do it too.
Hi.
Hi,
Good
April.
to see you.
So I know Gavin Newsom is the leader for the Democratic Party right now. That's who's going to be the nominee most likely, and everyone's super excited about him. But guess what? I live in California, where spending is out of control, and the fact that nobody wants to even look into fraud and everyone is burning down Teslas when Elon Musk was trying to help and he came in with good intentions is shocking to me. Gavin Newsom cannot find right now $24 billion that he spent on the homeless, when actually they increased the homeless now by 20%, because all they do is just keep building housing and hiring developers. These two developers now have been indicted because they've been spending all their money on Coachella tickets and Birkin bags, private jets, vacations, you name it.
Right. So April sits down to address Isaiah's claim that DOGE was a complete and total failure, and she doesn't engage with it at all, not even a little. Instead, she's immediately on the attack. Gavin Newsom, California homelessness, Birkin bags, burning Teslas. It's a barrage. 4 topics in her opening breath, and not one of them is DOGE. Now, pay attention to what Isaiah does next, because this is where most people would already lose. When someone hits you with that many claims at once, the instinct is to respond to at least one of them. You'd say, well, actually, the homeless numbers are a bit more complicated than that. Or you'd push back on the Tesla burning. Or you'd try to defend Newsom. And that is the bait. Because the moment you engage with any of it, you're now arguing about California, not DOGE. April has set the terms, and you've accepted them.
Because they've been spending all their money on Coachella tickets and Birkin bags, private jets, vacations, you name it.
Well, last time I checked, I'm not really here to debate the record on Gavin Newsom and what happens in California. I'm here to talk about DOGE and what has happened in the federal government.
That's it. No counter-arguments about California, no defense of Newsom, no engagement with any of the bait.
I'm here to talk about DOGE.
Just a clean redirect back to the proposition. I'm here to talk about DOGE. It's polite, it's firm, and it costs April everything that she just invested in that opening monologue. And as you're going to see, he doesn't just redirect, he immediately advances his claim.
I'm here to talk about DOGE.
Sometimes a story comes along where the facts aren't really in dispute, but the way those facts get packaged tells you everything. This weekend, that story was US rescues missing crew member in Iran after fighter jet shot down. Without a tool like ground news, you'd need to read across dozens of sources just to get a complete picture, and most people simply don't. Ground News solves that by gathering thousands of articles from outlets worldwide, sorting them by story, and giving each one a clear breakdown of bias, factuality, and ownership. The full picture without the legwork. This story is a perfect case in point. 602 outlets have covered it. 122 leaning left, 180 centrist, and 107 leaning right. You can follow along at ground.news/rationality. Take Salon, a left-leaning outlet with high factuality. Their headline mentions the rescue, but their opening immediately reframes it. The operation highlighted a sharp escalation in the conflict, and the recovery comes after the first such losses of American aircraft. So the rescue happened, yes, but the story that Salon is telling is about what it costs to get there. Then there's The Hill, a centrist outlet with high factuality. US rescues missing service member from downed jet in Iran. Trump. Clean, straightforward, no editorializing, just the who, what, and where. The jet was downed, the person was rescued, Trump announced it. And then the Gateway pundit, far right with very low factuality. Breaking, an Easter miracle. Second pilot from downed F-15 fighter jet rescued in Iran by US forces following brutal and intense fight with Iranian terrorists. Every word is doing ideological work. It's a miracle, it's brutal, it's intense, and all Iranian forces have become terrorists. Same rescue operation, completely different moral universe. And the outlet making the most noise happens to carry the lowest factuality rating of all three. Worth keeping that in mind. The full picture is out there. Ground News just makes it actually accessible. Get 40% off their Vantage plan at ground.news/rationality, or scan the QR code on screen. You'll be supporting independent media and this channel at the same time. Thanks.
I'm here to talk about DOGE and what has happened in the federal government. And as a result of these policies, you've cut maybe 0.1% of the federal budget. Meanwhile, you've just gone and spent everything else. You now have, for example, like I said, $1 billion to rename the Department of War. You now have, for example, the fact that they're spending money, about $12 billion for farm subsidies because the tariffs were just that bad. So it's all a wash.
These aren't feelings. They're figures. Facts, even. And as conservatives like to say, facts don't care about your feelings.
And facts don't care about your feelings.
Now watch what happens. April could try to dispute those numbers. She could argue that the 0.1% is unfair, or that the farm subsidies were unnecessary. But she doesn't. Instead, she reaches for the only argument that she has.
So it's all a wash. So I don't really understand.
Well, nobody let him do his job, honestly.
There it is. And this is hilarious. She's just inadvertently admitted that DOGE failed. Yeah, she's not arguing that it succeeded. She's not even trying.
Nobody let him do his job.
The core of April's defense for the rest of this exchange is a concession dressed up as an excuse. DOGE wasn't incompetent, it was sabotaged. Nobody let Elon do what he came to do. And notice, this is now her second attempt to drag the frame away from Isaiah's claim. The gish gallop about California didn't stick, so now she's trying a different angle, but the destination is the same. Blame the left. If she can get Isaiah to debate whether Elon was treated fairly, she never has to defend DOGE's actual results, does she?
Well, nobody let him do his job.
How is it that you guys are actually cutting spending?
So he said that Elon said that it was somewhat successful, and the only reason he wouldn't do it again is because everyone burnt down his Teslas and tried to destroy his business that he started. $100 to $200 billion in zombie payments is what he said.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did you get your $2,000 DOGE check?
And this is where Isaiah's reading of the conversation is simply superb. April is escalating, she's piling on. Tesla burnings, Elon's intentions, zombie payments. Each one another invitation to argue about anything other than DOGE's results. She wants him on the back foot. She wants him defending the left. And the lesser debater would, no doubt, already be there, 3 topics deep into a conversation he never chose. But Isaiah just cuts through it all.
Did you get your $2,000 DOGE check?
That's it. He once again refuses the bait. He forced a gap, planted his flag, and maneuvered her back onto his terrain with a single question. Elon Musk floated the idea of giving the American people a $2,000 Doge dividend.
Does everybody want like a $5,000 check in the mail? It sounds kind of good, right? And the best part about it would be knowing where it came from. That's $5,000 that you sent them last year.
Totally. It's money that's taken away from things that are destructive to the country and from organizations that hate you to you.
A direct payment funded by the savings from cutting federal waste.
Is there traction on that?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I talked to the president, and he's supportive of that. And so it sounds like, that's something we're going to do.
So, did Doge deliver?
Did you get your $2,000 Doge check?
From the tariffs?
From Doge as a
Which
result of all the
$2,000
spending that was
which
supposed to
one?
happen. There was supposed to be a $2,000 Doge check. Did you get that?
No, but they haven't said anything about
Have
that.
they?
No, she didn't get it. Nobody did. And appreciate how quickly she tries to rewrite history, insisting that they haven't said anything about that.
No, but they haven't said anything about
Have
that.
they?
The problem is, they absolutely did. Elon said it. Even President Trump himself floated the idea that the government will give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens. And Isaiah isn't going to let that slide.
No, but they haven't said anything about
Have
that.
they introduced something for that?
Who said that they were
Have
supposed
they?
to do that?
That's what
I know
Elon
we're supposed
said.
to be
He said that
getting.
we'd be getting a check in the mail.
She's scrambling, trapped, all because Isaiah has pinned his argument to a specific proposal that was never delivered.
I know we're
Elon
supposed
said
to be
he said that
getting.
we'd be getting a check in the mail.
But no, but you guys went into this not letting him do what he came there to do.
There's the deflection again. April, it seems, has just one move, and she's going to keep on playing it. But Isaiah has already got her on record. She didn't get the check. And now he shifts to the question that will close the remaining exit.
Guys went into this not letting him do what he came there to do.
So you control
Why
the
would
House,
anyone want
the Senate,
fraud to be continued?
and the White
if it's
House.
why
You
I
control
brought up
literally
California
all
because
three,
it's happening in
and
this
you
government.
still
Why is it
couldn't
happening
get it
over there?
done?
This is calm execution. Seriously, Isaiah is killing her gently. I mean, April jumped in to debate the claim that Doge was a complete and total failure, but she didn't want to have that debate because she can't win it. She's already admitted as much.
Well, nobody let him
How
do
is
his
it-
job.
how is it-
honestly.
So, at every opportunity, she tries to attack the left to drag the conversation onto ground she feels she can win.
Everyone burnt down his Teslas and tried to destroy his
I have a
business.
question.
And this is why what Isaiah does here is so important. He ignores every deflection, driving home the fact that it is her party, the Republicans, that owns the House, the Senate, and the White House. All three. And if they own all three, then who exactly stopped them? Who blocked the legislation? Who sabotaged Doge? If there is any failure here, it is the Republicans who must own it.
In
And
this
you
government,
still
why is it
couldn't
happening
get it
over there?
done?
What do you mean?
You control the House, the Senate, and the White House.
Okay.
And you still couldn't get it done?
How could anyone work like that, honestly?
She's still complaining about the conditions, as if controlling every branch of the federal government, one, mind you, that's loaded with Trump's cronies, is somehow an unfair working environment. What is this?
How could anyone work like that, honestly?
Having
You
all
guys
three,
did not let the guy
having
do
the
anything.
House, the
He's a
Senate,
Nazi.
and the White House,
You villainized him
you control it
24/7.
all.
It's
You control it all.
So what?
And you
so
still
what?
couldn't get it done with your people in
You
charge.
guys,
More and more deflections, each employed to pull Isaiah off his point.
he's a
Senate
Nazi.
and the White House,
You villainized him
You control it
24/7.
all.
But, true to form, our boy doesn't take a single one. He just keeps repeating the structural fact. You control it, and you still couldn't get it done. This is discipline. It's not flashy, but it is a decision made again and again to stay on the one point that your opponent cannot answer instead of chasing 10 points that they want you to argue about.
And you
so
still
what?
couldn't get it done with your people in
You
charge.
guys were doxing him and calling this guy big balls and going crazy about every single thing with Doge. Doge was literally vilified. But we were allowed to be audited by the IRS when Biden hired 80,000 IRS agents, the random regular
Let
people.
me ask you a question.
You don't, I'm sorry, but
How
if
does
there's
how
people
does a
doing
bill
fraud
become
in the
a law?
government, you don't
How
want to
does-
know
how
about
does
it?
How does a bill become a law? Do you know?
More deflections from April. Vilification. Biden.
DOGE was literally vilified. Biden hired 80,000 IRS agents, the random regular people.
But April should have clocked by now that going on the attack is never going to work against Isaiah. He's too disciplined, too focused on keeping it on topic, and the constant diversions aren't just failing to hook him, they are hurting her standing with the audience. Meanwhile, Isaiah presses on with a new question. How does a bill become a law?
How does a bill become a law? Do you know?
Goes through Congress.
And so then what? It has to go through both chambers of Congress.
Okay.
It has to go to the president.
Yes, and then
Who has a majority in the Senate?
We do.
Who has a majority in the House?
We do. But what does that have to do with DOGE?
Who is in the White House? What party is in the White House?
The Republicans.
So it's almost like you can do anything you want. They
Yeah.
managed.
Look at what just happened. Isaiah just dog-walked April behind the shed, Kristi Noem style. He asked a series of factual questions that April couldn't answer dishonestly without looking absurd. Congress makes laws. Both chambers have to pass them. The president signs them. Republicans control the Senate. Republicans control the House. A Republican is in the White House. Each answer is obvious. Each answer is correct. And each answer, stacked on the previous one, builds a conclusion that April somehow couldn't comprehend. If you control every lever of power, the failure is yours.
So it's almost like you can do anything you want. They managed to pass tax cuts for the richest people in America, but they didn't manage to go get the checks that they promised the American people.
When did they promise
So it's almost
And now Isaiah twists the knife. Having walked April through every branch of government her party controls, he doesn't just leave it at, you had the power and you failed. He points out that they managed to pass tax cuts for the richest people in America.
They managed to pass tax cuts for the richest people in America.
They absolutely had the ability to make sweeping changes, and they did, just not for the people they promised. This raises the stakes from a claim to an accusation. It's no longer DOGE failed, it's DOGE was never for you. Your party had the votes. It has the chambers. It has the presidency. The Republicans have used that power to deliver for the wealthy. They have chosen not to use it to deliver for everyone else. That is not incompetence. That is priorities. And look at how April responds. She retreats into questioning whether the promise was ever made in the first place.
But they didn't manage to go get the checks that they promised the American
When
people.
did they promise
So it's
the checks?
almost like
But they're not even
that just
done yet.
didn't happen
But
whatsoever.
they're not even done yet. Honestly, the same way Trump got into office and everyone said, price of eggs, price of eggs. Within 2 days in office when the bird flu was around for 3 years before and no one said boo.
Because here's what's so interesting
nothing.
about conservatives.
Yes.
Is that you run on all of these different things. And then the second you don't do them, you expect that people will not hold you accountable.
No one's
did not
saying,
go and do
nobody's
these
saying
things.
that.
We're at April's last line of defense, and it's known as kettle logic. She's now running 3 contradictory excuses at once. First, DOGE was sabotaged.
Well, nobody let him
How
do
is
his
it-
job.
how-
How could anyone work like that, honestly? DOGE was literally vilified.
Then, nobody promised anything.
When did they promise
So it's
the check?
almost
Now, they just need more time.
But they're not even
that just
done yet.
didn't happen
But they're not
whatsoever.
even done yet.
But these can't all be true. If DOGE was sabotaged, then the promise was real, wasn't it? So why deny that it was ever made? If they're not done yet, then it wasn't sabotaged. It's still going. And if nobody promised anything, then what exactly are they not done with? Each excuse cancels out the one before it, and none of them can survive contact with Isaiah's persistence. The Republicans control everything, and it still didn't deliver. He even names the pattern directly. You run on promises, you don't deliver, and then you expect nobody to notice. It is the cleanest summary of the dynamic, and it lands because she's accidentally spent the entire exchange establishing the evidence for it.
you expect that people will not hold you accountable.
No
You
one's
did
saying.
not go and do
Nobody's
these
saying
things.
that. No.
And the reality,
I'm not. I didn't. Where did I say that?
Is that you walked around
Yeah.
and cut 0.1% of the federal budget. Then you spent over that with wasteful spending, like, for example,
I don't like
the
wasteful spending.
$500
I've never
billion
said that I did.
that Kristi Noem is spending for a new private jet to retrofit another Qatari Air Force One. You can say all
But can
this
we
money
agree
to
on
do that.
something? Why?
It's a
But
wash.
can we agree on something? Is it okay to vilify DOGE and Elon and all this stuff? Why wouldn't you want to know? From the get-go, everyone went crazy about DOGE and all that. Why wouldn't you want to know if there's fraud?
April tries one more time to attack the left, and This is her strongest attempt yet. You see, her question attempts to reframe the conversation as being about the principle of government efficiency, rather than the reality of what DOGE actually did.
Why wouldn't you want to know if there's fraud?
If she can make Isaiah seem like he's the one against accountability, she wins. If she has to defend the results, she loses. Honestly, it's a shame that this wasn't her opening.
Why wouldn't you want to know if there's fraud?
I believe that government needs to be more efficient. I think that everybody
good.
should. Barack
So
Obama
happy
was
we
somebody
agree on
that
that.
supported a lot of that.
Yeah.
But that's not what you did.
Now, this is the first time that Isaiah actually engages with something that April has raised. For the entire exchange, he's been refusing her deflections, ignoring her diversions, staying on his terrain.
Last time I checked, I'm not really here to debate the record on Gavin Newsom and what happens in California.
But here, he simply agrees. He even credits Obama with wanting the same thing, thereby extending the agreement to the entire Democratic base.
Barack Obama
happy
was
we
somebody
agree on
that
that.
supported a lot of that.
Yeah.
And then he turns it straight back on her. But that is not what you did. It's brilliant, because it removes April's last rhetorical shelter. She can no longer accuse him of being against efficiency. He just said he supports it. All that's left is the gap between what DOGE promised and what DOGE delivered.
Barack Obama
happy
was
we
somebody
agree on
that
that.
supported a lot of that.
Yeah.
But that's not what you did.
Why
You added
is-
more
why so?
bureaucracy across the board. You then meant to go and spend more money than you allegedly cut. You lied about the money that you were cutting
But
before
it's
you
only
got
been a
called out
couple
before
months of the
NPR.
administration, you guys. I wish you guys held the Biden.
You fired Elon
administration
Musk.
into-
You fired him.
I wish you held.
You literally told
inflation was
Elon to go home.
transitory, Inflation
You
was
literally
transitory.
sent
then
Elon
it was
to go
out of date.
home.
Elon had to go home because no one let
So
the
then
guy.
he didn't do
you
the
wanted
work.
to destroy his. Okay, you guys don't let anyone do anything. Literally.
You control the House, the Senate, and the White House.
But that's irrelevant.
April has been arguing for the entire exchange that DOGE was sabotaged, that Elon wasn't allowed to do his job. Isaiah drops the fact that Elon wasn't fired by the Democrats, was he? He wasn't chased out by protesters. He was sent home by his own side. The Republicans fired him.
You guys don't let anyone do anything. Literally.
You control the House, the Senate, and the White House.
But that's irrelevant.
Same line, same unanswerable fact. Isaiah hasn't moved an inch from where he started.
Literally.
You control the House, the Senate, and the White House.
But that's irrelevant. Oh, so we can go back to immigration then, because why don't you guys pass laws on immigration after
You
4 years of
literally-
Biden when they told
you
us
literally-
they told us he was
You
healthy
literally
and
did not
sharpest,
go
sharp
and
as a
do
tack.
what you promised. You didn't.
But we're not done yet.
You fired Elon. He's gone.
That's where it ends. April tries to escape into immigration, into Biden, into anything else.
So we can go back to immigration then after
You
4 years
literally-
of Biden.
She even boldly declares that DOGE isn't done.
But we're not done yet.
But Isaiah closes the door with the words, "He's gone."
You fired Elon. He's gone.
So what do we take from all of this? What's the lesson? The truth is, Isaiah won this exchange the second that April opened her mouth. She threw everything she had. California, Gavin Newsom, Birkin bags, burning Teslas, Biden's IRS, egg prices, bird flu, immigration, the kitchen sink. She effectively conceded from the very start, since each claim was off topic. Each was an invitation to a different debate. And each, if Isaiah had taken it, would have pulled him further from the point that April couldn't answer. But he didn't take them, did he? Not one of them. That is the first lesson. In any argument, your opponent's distractions are not your responsibility. You don't have to defend against every accusation.
Last time I checked, I'm not really here to debate the record on Gavin Newsom and what happens in California.
You just have to stay on the thesis, on the one point that they can't answer, and keep coming back to it until the silence speaks for itself.
I'm here to talk about DOGE.
The second lesson is how Isaiah got to the knockout. He didn't tell April she was wrong. He asked her questions, factual questions with only one answer, and let the answers do the work.
Who has a majority in the Senate?
We do.
Who has a majority in the House?
We do. But what does
Who
that
has
have to
majo-
do with
who-
DOGE?
Who is in the White House? What party is in the White House?
The Republicans.
So it's almost like you can do anything you want. They
Yeah.
managed.
So, the next time that someone tries to drag you off your point into a different topic, into a different accusation, a different grievance, do what Isaiah did. Stay where you are. Ask a question they can't lie about, and let the truth do the talking.
There was supposed to be a $2,000 DOGE check. Did you get that?
No.
Anyhow, as always, thank you kindly for the view, and an extra special thank you to everyone who supports the channel, including today's sponsor, Ground News.